Okay, yeah. So, like I was saying, part of the questions we'll be asking, part of the questions we'll be asking in dissecting truth, apart from the one we asked initially, it's like, let me put it this way, let me ask the question this way. What do or why do intelligent people believe different things? Why do intelligent people believe different things? If truth is absolute, one could have thought that if there's a truth out there, all intelligent persons in the planet, in the globe, in the society, in the environment, and the world at large will believe the same thing. But that's not the case. Think about it. That is not the case. So why? Hmm? Let us sink it. So we'll be drawing different inferences, different perspectives from philosophy, psychology, mathematics, science, religion, and discovering truth. We will know what this field, academic field of study, says about truth. We know that. And we think deeply on the idea of truth. The point, once again, is if truth is relative or is absolute. That's a point clarification I want to make. Okay. So now I will start by telling you my first experience in life back then when I was in university. Then I was an anthropological Christian. I have this notion, excuse me, this idea that truth was absolute. I have this belief that my truth, based on my Christian perspective, was everything I can think of, was the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That was my belief then, back then, when I was in undergrad, my first year. Not until a professor asked me a question in a class that I thought, it's profound, it's simple. Then I answered the question from my Christian perspective, expecting an applause from the professor. But I got the greatest shock of my life because the professor told me categorically, says, that is your perspective. That is your perspective. We have countless of perspective, diverse perspective in the globe, peculiar to individuals. That is yours. I was broken. It gave me a loop. So wow, that means I've been fooling myself all this while. There are higher truths. Higher truths. My truth based on my natural inclination does not hold still, suggesting that truth is relative. From the the correction the professor gave to me, suggested that truth is relative. So I was forging along with life, believing that truth is relative. Now, coming back to reality, or coming back to present day life, I said, let me ask AI, sorry. Let me ask AI. If truth is relative, which is the ultimate truth? Which truth is the ultimate truth? AI told me that there's no way of testing ultimate truth. There's no way of testing ultimate truth. What does that tell you? I'll leave that to your judgment. Now, so let's discuss truth from the philosophical perspective. Truth from the philosophical perspective. A philosopher will ask, what is truth? Now, there's a branch of philosophy called epistemology, which is the theory of truth that deals with this kind of discussion. Now, philosophy may say that truth corresponds to one's reality. A philosopher might say that truth corresponds to one's reality. Let me put it this way, or let me exemplify so you get the point. Let's say, for example, this is Okpanam now, about to 4 a.m. Okpanam today, and as it is here, the day is dark. This is my truth. But does that hold true in other parts of the globe? Does that hold true in other part of the globe? The answer is as guess as mine. So truth corresponds to one's reality. That's one tenet of philosophy. The other tenet will say that understanding of truth is limited to one's experience. Understanding of truth is limited to one's experience. It also suggests, let me try and see if I can paint a scenario to buttress that point. Now, let's say, for example, that you go outside, the weather is cold, or you're feeling hot. Maybe based on your physiological composition, maybe physiologically there's something not palatable, something not fine physiologically. Others are feeling cold, you're feeling hot. What is the truth? Who then saying the truth? Apart from that, it's still possible. Even if it's not a physiological composition, some may be feeling hot, some may be cold, some may be in between. So these are your experiences that limit the truth value of a circumstance. So that's what philosophy will say. Now, psychology. What do you think psychology says about truth? What do you think psychologists say about truth? Now I'll tell you. There's a topic in psychology that says that define truth or human experiences. That is your judgment from human experiences. They call it cognitive bias. Cognitive bias. That is the confirmation of your bias. You take it as true. I paint a scenario. Now let's say you are a sportsman. You're a sportsman. And you're driving a car, moving along your street, cruising with a good speed. And all of a sudden, you see somebody walking briskly, walking having a brisk walking. I say, aha, that's a sport man or a sport woman. Confirming your bias which you have. You've not investigated deeply to know if actually the sport man or a sport woman. Perhaps it might be a doctor trying to go save a patient in the hospital or anywhere. It might be somebody, a businessman in a hurry. But you concluded from your first look. So that's what cognitive biases say. So you tend to overlook evidence and accept evidence that correspond with your belief. All right. So what do religions say about truth? Religion, like you know, we have three types of religion. World religion that we know in this part of the world. We still have other world religions, but they are facing out and living the world strong, mainstream. So the three types of religion which we have, three types of world religion which we have are called the Abrahamic religion. That is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So this religion, they all have their prophets. Yes. So what do they say about truth? So I will not dive telling you each what Judaism says about truth, what Christianity says about truth, what Islam says about truth. Remember, they're all Abrahamic religion. So it means it originated from Abraham. So you want to know that you are referring to the Bible where such things are called. Okay. So what do the true religion say about truth? I will be looking at it from an eagle's eye, from a very higher perspective. The true religion mentions that truth corresponds with reason and humility. Corresponds with reason and humility. Because if you have knowledge, you will be humble. You will reason aright. You will be wise. So the faith tradition often emphasizes that knowledge without humility can become pride. You can attest to the fact that Paul even made reference to it in the Bible that knowledge pops up, but you tend to control it. I'm not quoting everything, I'm just saying. I'm just paraphrasing. So if you have truth, if you have true perspective, you'll be humbled. You will have wisdom. You have knowledge. So those are the perspective of religion. Now let's go to mathematics. What do you think mathematics says about truth? Now look at it this way. It employs the topic of probability. Truth, probability. What is probability? Probability is the study of possible occurrences in everyday life. Possible occurrences in everyday life. You know what that means? That is occurrences that are possible. Imaginary occurrences are not possible. So probability don't talk about that. So we are discussing possible occurrences. Now let's say, for example, we have an evidence, a possible evidence or possible situation where two persons are exposed to 60% of that evidence. What do you think will happen? Two persons from different background, different religion, different perspective, different culture, different tribe, different nationality, different way of living life, are exposed to 60% of the evidence that has occurred. The way probability puts it is that the persons, the two different persons, will arrive at two opposing conclusions, or two different conclusions. Honestly, they will arrive at two different conclusions. Honestly, the word honestly should be put into perspective, into context. Now, when you are saying something honestly, you are not telling lies. You are judging entirely from the information given to you. You are judging entirely from the information presented to you. You are not biased. You are not cognitive bias. You are clear. You are logically explaining the way it is, the way it's being presented to you. And now we have two different answers. When two persons from two different culture, two different backgrounds are given 60% of evidence that has occurred. So that's it. Think about it. Think about it. So what does that tell us in the nutshell? What does that tell us? The way I see it, because everybody is different everybody has their own interpretation. The way I see it is that it confirms my first thinking back then in the university, that truth is relative. But on a higher note, maybe, just maybe, it reflects the limitation of the human knowledge. It reflects the limitation of the human knowledge. What does that mean? That means we are not built with the apparatus as a human to get the truth. We're not built with the apparatus of in human to get the truth. Think about it. So, when you are arguing, somebody might not be stupid. He's saying things from his own perspective. That's because that's the level he knows at that time. When he grows higher, he will leave that perspective and he will embrace higher truth. So think about it. Once again, this is Uncle Joe's perspective. This is my opinion. This is my perspective. This is why I see it. So drop, like, share, comment, and invite your friends to watch and share your view. So thank you.